everyone, Holly Rustic here with We Go Grants, and we are going to be talking about your organization in this section. So this is great. This is where you can really get all the information about your organization in one place. So very, very important. And the first thing we're going to be talking about is how to actually keep track of your grants. So you have a template there that has so you have the ability to be able to say, okay, what year is that? How much, from who, when is it ending, etc. And just keep track of all that information. And then every time you get a new grant, please add it to it. And then you can just go ahead and snapshot. You can throw that up on your website too. Like, that looks awesome. Like, here's the grants and the funding that we've received. And then you can also do little pictures. You can click on it, whatever, just to show, even for your funding sources, like, hey, we really honor you. Thank you so much. And this too, you can go ahead and you can use it as an attachment if you have extra attachment rooms for grants, and you can just show them. This is great, and it really helps because there's always a lot of questions about financial capacity and fiscal oversight in grants as you review them. So sometimes in your narrative it can be a little fuzzy, you don't have a lot of space, maybe you're just talking about the bookkeeper, maybe you're saying, oh yeah, we have great oversight. But if you attach actually all of the grants that you received, a snapshot of that, that really shows the reviewers too. Like, sometimes reviewers actually use that and say, yeah, they have the fiscal capacity because look at all the grants that they've actually secured, and they'll list that. So it's really important, and that can be a great resource for you. And you might say, yeah, but we already know we receive grants. Well, do you have it written down? Do you actually really know what years that is going to, for how much? Did you have matching for that, etc.? Did you leverage? So you want to just have that in one spot. And then, of course, the other two templates that you have in this series is for your board of directors and your staff and your employees. So you want to just have these sheets, and it's just really simple. Like, for your board of directors, who is the president or the chair, and a little bio about them, and you just want to have the information. But I can't tell you how many times that people, as they're writing grants, they might not know who's on their board at that point in time, or they just can't, they don't have the bio, and to track down a board member can be very difficult sometimes, just to get that information from them. So you want to make sure you have that. And then for the employees, the same thing. You say, well, we know who our employees are. Why have this sheet, this template? Well, the reason behind that is, a lot of times if your organization, especially once it starts to get a little bit bigger, you might not know who's doing what exactly, or what grant is funding different people. So you just need a little snapshot there. But you also need to have resumes, and you need to ask for them, and your HR department might do this, or you might be really small, so you don't have an HR department, and your grant lead might just be doing this, but asking them for updated resumes. And I've seen a lot of resumes that are outdated when I'm reviewing them, and this is terrible. I mean, I can see in the narrative, like, they say, oh, this person's been a part of our organization for so many years, and they're doing this and this and this, and I'm like, that's great. And then I go to the resume of that person, and I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't have anything about that on their resume. So it gets a little confusing for reviewers. And the thing is yeah, if people that are part of your organization for years are like, why do I need to give you a resume? But the thing is because usually they're doing so many trainings and certifications every year. Sometimes they're all of a sudden overseeing different grants, so they have different experience. All of a sudden they could be doing one for overseeing a diabetic kind of clinic for these youth. And then, a few months later, they're overseeing the soccer camps, and then they're doing some fundraising, and they have all this stuff in 1 year. But I haven't had an updated resume, so I'm only seeing that they were an intern, doing admin work. And that's all their resume says. But they have this vast experience since then. So you just want to really make sure that you're getting all the information, you're getting it up to date, and also you want to ask them too, 1 to 2 pages, that's it, like single space for your resume, because you'll see a lot of, and you can even do like, here's the format I want you to use, whatever, it's fine. Because you don't want to have so many pages, and I've seen this, it's like 10, 15 pages of double-spaced resume, and it's just, as a reviewer, you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't need all of this, and it's so much taking up space, or it's too many pages because you might have a limitation of like 150 pages, and all of a sudden you're adding all this stuff, and then the pages, well, they'll just get redacted, and I won't even be able to see that information as a reviewer. So you really want to make sure it's succinct, it's clear, it's up to date, has all the information, and you just have like these little blurbs about who is doing what, and you know that, and especially because sometimes so you might have somebody who's a project director or a project coordinator of a certain program, and all of a sudden they leave, and because you might not have had job descriptions that were up to date, you didn't really know exactly everything that they were doing. So it's really good to have those resumes so you can see who's doing what, and also keep job descriptions. It's a whole other thing, but you want to be able to know who's doing what and what responsibilities they have and what they oversee. So all this information you can just keep in one folder. You can just keep it organization folder, master folder, something like that, whatever you want to do. But just make sure you update it annually, and just keep kind of aware of what's going on. All right, guys, I will see you next time. As always, it's great talking to you. Send me an email if you have any questions, hollywego@gmail.com. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.